Hello and welcome to the second part of the series on HTML. So before beginning, let us try to revise what we learned in the part 1 of this series. So in the part 1 of this series, we learned about BG color, how to give the background color. We learned about the attribute text as to how to give the text color. We learned about the BR tag as to how to bring text to the next line. We learned about the P tag, B tag, U tag, I tag and the heading levels from H1 to H6. Then we discussed about the horizontal rule, its attributes size, color, width and align, and also we learned about the comment tag. So in this series, let us try to learn some more tags. So today's topic of discussions will be margins. We'll learn how to set margins. We'll learn what is margins. After that, we will learn how to set an image as a background. We learned how to put color as background, but now we'll learn how to put image as background. We'll learn about superscript, subscript. We'll learn about font and its attributes, and finally we'll wind up with the marquee tag. So let us try to understand all these things one by one. So at first, let us try to understand what margins is. So if you look at the first, so this is the part till which we did till now. So here if you look, there is no gap from left to right and there is a very little gap from top to bottom. That means there are no margins. So let's try to understand margin in a better way. So let's say we have this text. This is the way to London town. So if you, let's say, do not put any margin, so you will see that this text will come from this particular position. That means there is no gap from the left, there is no gap from the right, there is even no gap from the right also, and there is no gap from left also. But what is margins? So if I put some margins here, let's say if I put a gap from here to here and from here to here, so this gap it is known as the top margin. So this will call as the top margin, and next this gap it is known as the your left margin. So this gap is known as your left margin. So now if we write that those text, so this is your the left margin. Now if we write the earlier text, let's say this is the way to London town, then we'll not write it from this particular position, but we'll write it from this particular position. That means we have left some gap from the top and from the left. This is known as margins. Let us try to understand how to implement margins in our HTML document. So for implementing margins in our HTML document, what we need to do, we need to at first look at the syntax of margins. So if we want to give top margins, there are only two margin levels in HTML, which is top margin and the left margin. If we want to give top margin is an attribute of body tag. So what we will do, we will write body top margin equals to value. The value is in pixels. The higher the value, the greater will be the margin. And if we want to give the left margin, it will be body left margin equals to value. So let's try to implement it. So I'll be implementing it over the previous file. So the previous file name was first. So here let's say I want to give left margin. So here what I'll do, I'll write left margin equals to, let's say I'll give 40. Okay, so what was the previous status? This was the previous status. That means there is no left margin. but now I have given the left margin equals to how much? 40. So if I refresh this page, you will notice that it has come towards the left. Also, one thing to notice here is that left margin also adjusts the right margin. So let's say I'll cut it, save it. So this was the status before, but after we gave, let's say, left margin equals to, let's say, 60, you will notice here that left margin is also adjusting the right margin. So we need not give right margin separately. Now let's go to the top margin. So for top margin, what we'll write? Here we'll write top margin equals to, let's say we want to give top margin as 30 pixels. So after writing some HTML code, if you want the changes to be reflected in the original document, you have to save it by pressing Ctrl S. So after that, we'll go to that particular page and we'll refresh it, and you will find that it has come down by 30 pixels. Let's give a higher value. So let's say I'll give value as 70. So now you will, as I refresh it, you will find that it has come down a little bit more. That's all about the margins. Let's go to our next topic, which is the background image. So till now we learned how to give color as the background, but suppose we want to give an image as a background. If we want to give an image as a background, there is an attribute which is along with the body tag, and by using that particular attribute we can give an image as a background. What is the syntax? The syntax is body background equals to image name with extension. This word is very important. So what are some extensions of images? Some extension of images are GIF, JPG, PNG, and some other extensions are also there. So always if the name of the image is ABC, at first you have to see what is the extension of the image ABC. If it is a JPG image, so you have to give abc.jpg. If it is a PNG image, you have to give abc.image. One thing you should keep in mind is that it is recommended that whatever image you want to set as the background, you keep it in the same folder. I am repeating it. You keep it in the same folder in which you have kept your HTML file. So otherwise, if you do not keep it in the same folder, then you have to give the entire path of the image, which becomes a little bit complicated. So it's better, I recommend, whatever image you want to set as the background, just put it in the same location in which you have put your HTML file. So I want to give certain images as background. So let's say this is our HTML folder. So here, as you can see, this is the file name first. So with that file name, I have put 3 images, 1, 3 and pi. So why I have put it in the same folder? So that it becomes easier for us to give the image as the background. So let's say I want to give this particular image, that is pi, as the background image. So now just by looking at the name, I cannot say whether it is a JPG image or a PNG image or GIF image. So for that, what you can do, you can right click and click on properties if you are in Windows. If you are in Mac, you will click on get info. There you will see the type of the image. As you can see here, the type of the image is portable networks graphics. That means it is a PNG image. So when we give the name of the image, it will be not just pi, it will be pi.png. So how to do this? So if we want to use the image as the background, you have to remove the BG color which we gave in the previous session. So here what we will give here, body background equals to, at first make sure that those images are in the same location in which you have put your HTML file. So here I will write pi dot, what was the extension there, portable network graphics. So I will put here pi.png. Done. Now I will go to my HTML page and refresh it. You will find that the image has come as the background. Let me show you the image. this is the image py.png. As I have said, this image is the background. So if you look at the browser, that particular image has come in the background. But you should not put any image as the background. See, here I have put the image as the background, but the text is not visible properly. For the text to be visible properly, you should find such a image so that the text is visible properly. Otherwise, no one will come want to visit your website. So keep this thing in mind. The background image should not hide your original text. The text should be readable. So let's give a different image. So let's give this image tree.jpg. So I put it in the same location. So what I will do here, instead of py.png, I will give here tree.jpg. After that, I will just refresh it. So now you can see that this particular background is better as compared to the previous background. Why? Because it is not hiding the text here. This is how you will put an image as a background. Let's go to our next topic, which is subscript and superscript. So what is subscript? For putting subscript, you require a container tag known as sub or sub. So if we put something within these two tags sub and /sub, it is used to make the tag text or symbol or numbers appeared as subscript. Subscript means it will appear lowered. For example, A2. See, here 2 is a little bit lowered as compared to A. Now let's come to superscript. What is superscript? For if we want the numbers or text to be little bit upward as compared to the original text, then it is known as superscript. For example, if we write a plus b whole square, the square that is 2 comes above, so it is known as superscript. So it is done with the help of sup and /sup tag. So for example, a plus b whole square. Let's try to implement subscript and superscript now. So for implementing subscript and superscript, let's say at the end, let me give here multiple p tags so that it is visible properly. Let's say I want to write A2. So it is a subscript, so I'll give here sub. So at first I'll write here A, then I want to make 2 as the subscript, so I'll give /sub. So here, now if I refresh it, you will find this 2 here, which is A2. You see that 2 has come as the what? Subscript. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to superscript. So if I want to write a plus b whole square, so what you will do? You will write a plus b square, that is 2 should be in superscript now. So what we will write? SUP 2 /SUP. Then save it and then refresh the page. As we refresh the page, see here you will find a plus b square. This 2 has come as the superscript. So that's all about subscript and superscript. You can use it in writing various formulas or various chemical reactions of signs like carbon dioxide, H2SO4, etc. Let's go to our next topic, which is your font. So this is a very important tag. So font tag is used to specify the size. Size means size of the text. Color means color of the text, and face of the text it encloses. Okay, here I have written font by mistake. It should be face. Now what is the meaning of size? Size means the size of the text. What is the meaning of what is the meaning of color? Color means the color of the text. And what is the meaning of the word face? Face means the font or the handwriting of the text. So for giving these 3 properties, we have 3 attributes. It is a container tag, that means it will have a both opening and closing tags, and there are 3 attributes of font. They are size, color and face. You should note the spelling of color. It is COLOR. So let's try to implement it one by one. So at first we'll implement font size. So what is font size? It is used to set the size of the text. Okay, means how big or small a particular size is. It is done with the help of the font size. So the range of the attribute is from 1 to 7. You cannot give any size. You can give it, but even if you give it the suppose you give the size as 100, even then the size will come as 7, because the range of this attribute is from 1 to 7 only. The default size is 3. If you do not use font size property, then you will find that the default size is how much? It is 3. Next, what is the syntax? The syntax is font size equals to n, where n is any value between 1 and 7. Now let's try to implement font size. So why are these font attributes used? They are used to make some part of the text different. For example, let's say I'll make this part from day. Let me try to separate it a little bit. It will have no effect on the HTML document because I have not given any BR tag here. So here if I use the font tag, font, let's say size equals to, the default size is 3. Let's say I'll give the size as 5. I want to make this part with font size 5, so I'll close the font tag here and I'll refresh it and see it. You will find here from day to handling, it looks a little bit bigger. Why it looks a little bit bigger? Because I have given the font size not as the default font size. I have given a different font size, which is what I have given here, 5. Let's try an interesting thing. Let's say I'll give the font size as 7. So now if I refresh it, it will become bigger, obviously. Now let's try a different thing. Let's say I'll give the font size as 50 and I will refresh it. See, even if I have given the font size as 50, it has not changed. Why it has not changed? Because the highest size is 7 itself. You cannot get a size which is greater than this. I hope it is clear. Now let's go to the next one, which is font color. Now if I specify the color in the body itself, then that color will come for the entire text. But if we want to make certain sections of the text different, then we can use the font color tag. So color is the attribute, sorry. So we can use the color attribute. Mind the spelling, it is COLOR. This attribute is used to change the color of the text. So the color can be specified by using the color name. You can use the color names like red, blue, green, yellow and other colors. Or you can use the hexadecimal color codes also. I'll show you a chart of hexadecimal color code. Now let's go to the syntax. The syntax is font color equals to, you will give either the color name or the hexadecimal color code. So this is a sample of some hexadecimal color codes. So the hexadecimal color codes, it starts with hash and followed by hexadecimal digits. What is hexadecimal? You will get in class 11. Hexadecimal is a series of numbers and alphabets from 0 to 9 and from A to F. So whatever alphabets you will not find any alphabet which is greater than F. So you can either choose to use this hexadecimal codes or the color name itself. This is not an exhaustive list. This is just a sample list of some colors. There are many more colors available. So now let's give some colors to our text. So here let's say I'll put the size as 5. Let's say I'll give the color as, let's say, red. Oh, it's already red. Let's say I'll give it as blue. Okay, so I've given the color as blue and I'll refresh it. So you'll find that this color has changed to blue. Now let's try a hexadecimal color code. So let's look at this particular chart. So let's say I want to give the color as black. So what is black? What is the code for black? Hash and how many zeros? 1 2 3 4 5 6 zeros. So for that, what I'll do, I'll remove this blue. So what was the hexadecimal color code? Hash and 1 2 3 4 5 6. How many zeros were there? Let me count. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yes, 6 zeros were there. So hash and 6 zeros, and then I'll save it, and then I'll refresh the page, and you will find that the color has come in black. So either you can use the name of the color or the hexadecimal color codes. If you want color codes for different colors, then you can just Google it out, and the particular color code will come up. I have just given the list of only some of the colors so that you can have a basic idea of what hexadecimal color code is. So now let's go to the last attribute of font, which is the font face. What is face? Font face means the handwriting style of the text. While typing anything in MS Word or in PowerPoint or even in Excel, you can use different handwritings. Similarly, in HTML, if you want to use different handwritings, you have to use the attribute face. So this attribute is used to set the font for the text. So what is the syntax? The syntax is font face equals to font name. So now let's try and implement it. So let's say I'll give here, the font is already given here. Let's say I'll give here face equals to, there is a face known as Comic Sans MS. This is the handwriting style. Many handwriting styles are there. So I've given the font face as Comic Sans MS. You see that the handwriting style of this particular part has changed. Now let's change the face again. Let's say another, many fonts are there. Let's say I'll give Calibri here. Font face equals to Calibri. Now you can see that this has come in the face Calibri. Okay, I hope the three attributes are clear. Next, we come to the last tag of today's session, which is marquee tag. See, when you visit certain websites, you will find that some portions of that websites keeps moving from either from left to right, or from right to left, or from bottom to top, or from top to bottom. So if you want to make some parts of your HTML web page moving, then you have to use this particular tag known as the marquee tag. So this tag is used for creating scrollable text or images within a web page. So the scroll order can be from left to right, from right to left, from top to bottom, or from bottom to top. So it is a container tag, means it will have both an opening and a closing tag. So let's go to the syntax. So if you use just the marquee tag, the image or the text will go towards the left direction. If you, by default, the direction is towards left. If you want your object to move towards right, then you have to use an attribute called direction. So it will move towards right. So marquee direction equals to right will move it to the right. Similarly, for moving towards the up, you will use direction equals to up. For moving towards the down, you will use direction equals to down. Now let's try to implement these tags. So let's say I'll write something here. Let's give two p tags here, and then write something. Let's say I want marquee. Let's say I'll write a text. This is the way to London town. Any text, and I want only this part to be in marquee, so I'll just close here, marquee written. I'll just refresh this particular page. So you will find that the text, this is the way to London town, is moving towards the left. Let's say you want to move the text towards the right. So for that, you will have to use the attribute direction. So direction equals to right. You will find that your text will move towards the right. Okay, let's say you want to move it up. So here you have to give what? Up, direction equals to up, and just refresh the page. So you will find that that particular text is moving towards up. Let's say you want it to move towards down. So instead of up, you will put the direction as down. So you will find that your text is coming towards down. Okay, I hope all these things are clear. So it's better if you implement it with the help of a computer. Okay, thank you very much. I'll meet you in the next session on list.